In today's episode, I really want to focus on the things that you are supposed to be looking at, especially on Dexscreener, if you really want to avoid losing money. So when it comes to meme coin trading, right, there are a lot of scams. There are a lot of projects that are just basically there to siphon money from you guys. And this is one of the reasons why it's very important for you to really get to understand and also know what to look at with regards to scanning the markets without even wasting your time. Because when it comes to meme coin trading, right, it's all about efficiency, it's all about speed. So sometimes you need to be equipped with the right knowledge and the right amount of information with regards to figuring out what works. And this is one of the reasons why I want to teach you how to spot a bad investment from a good investment by just simply looking at the data that you have. For example, we're going to concentrate on the age, the transactions, the makers, the liquidity, and the market cap, because these things can have a very, very strong indication as to whether a project is going to end up being ragged. Just looking at this data alone, you've got a high chance, before you even take a look at Twitter, before you even take a look at the website, you are able to sort of tell whether these coins are going to end up ragging, whether this is false data, and whether this data can be trusted. And moreover, there's a lot of bot abuse, there's a lot of fake volume, there's a lot of fake transactions, there's a lot of fake holders as well. You have already seen my impressive track record, and right now I am giving you a massive discount with regards to joining our trading group where we trade meme coins. And on average, we have been making 300x monthly gains. And that's pretty crazy. And trust me, it's going to get crazier as we approach the apex of the bull market. We also invest in altcoins. We usually make about 100 to 200% return on investment. And we have got many activities. We have live trading sessions via group calls, so everybody is part of the cabal. We also have trading lessons where we teach you on how to become a professional with regards to finding an edge when it comes to trading these markets, because this is a player versus player type of environment, because a lot of people are out there to get your money. So remember, be part of our cabal. Let's make money investing in meme coins and just basically be able to retire filthy rich. So remember, it's only going to be $20 per month. Unfortunately, you have to pay for the whole year, which is going to cost you $240 in total. Now that is a massive discount. Age is a very important metric that you're supposed to be looking at, because a lot of rags, a lot of scams end up dying between 10 hours to about 24 hours. Some very good rags end up ragging after 48 hours, but that is highly unlikely. So when it comes to the scammers mindset, you know, these people who are coming up with rags and all that stuff, they really want to get in very fast, very quick, and exit. It's the same. If you're trying to rob a bank, right, you don't really want to spend a lot of time in the bank. You need to be in, out, you get your things done, and you sort of do not leave a trace. So this is one of the reasons why, if you really concentrate on coins that are going to be released pretty early, it can go both ways. You can do very well, or you can do very bad, due to the fact that there's a high likelihood that a coin is probably going to rag when it is newer. And taking a look at the transactions, right? Transactions need to make sense. And there's also a direct correlation between, the transactions and the makers as well. So makers are unique wallets that bought or sold this pair. So think of makers as, different wallets, different people participating in a particular project. So on average, one wallet makes about 4 to 5 transactions in a day. This is one of the reasons, or rather on a trade or on a project, this is one of the reasons why, if you look at the makers and the transactions, right, the transactions are most likely going to be more than the makers, because a lot of times people do dollar cost average. Sometimes they do buy and sell, and sometimes they buy lower, sell higher, or make multiple purchases at the same time. So this is one of the reasons why there's gonna be a 3-to-1 ratio on average. Very good projects have got maybe 4-to-1, 5-to-1 ratio between the makers and the transactions as well. So just think of this as unique wallets purchasing, or different people, holders purchasing in and out. Okay, so on average, the correlation between the transactions and the makers is between 3 to 1, 4 to 1, or 5 to 1. Transactions are supposed to be higher. So let me give you a practical example. For example, this one, right? This particular coin right over here. Let me go. This one, pop cat with hat. Okay, so it came out 24 hours ago. There's about 50 transactions, and so far there are about 12,532. So if you take a look at this ratio, right, it's basically falling between, the 3 to 5 to 1 ratio. It's about 4 times the makers are 4 times the number of transactions, which is pretty normal. Okay, so now let's move over to the other metrics as well. So when it comes to the liquidity and the market cap, there's a very good inverse correlation between the liquidity and the market cap. So you have to understand that liquidity is supposed to make sense. You can't have a project with a very high market cap that has got very bogus liquidity. For example, if a project has got about 60 maybe 60 billion US dollars, right, it wouldn't make sense for the liquidity to be under a million. Okay, so if you've got a project which has got about 60 billion US dollars, right, obviously the liquidity should be around 20 million US dollars to about 50 million US dollars etc. So this is one of the reasons why sometimes the projects that you're going to be looking at with regards to their liquidity and market cap is not even going to be making sense. Personally, I really love trading cryptocurrency meme coins that are at least over 3 days, because when a cryptocurrency meme coin is over 3 days, right, there's a less likely chance of it scamming, because the more time that it exists, the more the liquidity is going to be better, and the more there's going to be organic growth, organic holders, and it's just going to have a longer longevity lifeline, if I can put it that way. So let's take a look at some quick liquidity to market cap ratios that do not even make any sense. I'll give you a very, very practical example. So let's just try to figure out some here. What do we have? I want something which is absolutely ridiculous, because sometimes there are coins that have got over a billion in terms of the market cap, but the liquidity is pretty small. But sometimes a lot of you guys might be saying, okay, for example, this one, just looking at this one right over here. First of all, it has got 551 million US dollars as its market cap. The liquidity is only 191,000 US dollars, which doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense for a project to be this established only to have a small liquidity, because you have to understand that there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to meme coin traders. When people see that a coin is doing very well, a lot of them are going to be supplying or rather providing liquidity. So even without me looking at the website, the Twitter page of this coin, right, I can tell you that it is a scam. So I'm going to you're going to take a look at the age of this project, and you guys are going to understand why it doesn't even make sense. Take a look at this. This is how old this project is. It's only 2 hours old. So you tell me, how does a project which is only 2 hours old only have 192,000 US dollars in terms of liquidity providing, with a market cap which is $500 million? And take a look at the profits that it has done. It has really done very well in terms of the profits. But this coin is obviously going to be, it is definitely a red flag, So this coin is obviously trying to scam you guys. So just looking at the edge, and also take a look at the transactions. Okay, so now let me zoom out so that you guys can see. Take a look at the number of transactions. How does it make sense? This coin only has got 5,000 transactions, with makers with only 1,477. So I do know for a fact that these guys are using a bot. These guys are using they purchased volume bots And by the way, if you guys want to understand how to do these things, we can always talk about that. You can always email me. I can show you how to manipulate volume, etc, and how to just basically do what these guys are doing. But I'm a good guy, so no need for that. Yeah, so the numbers do not add up. This is a prime example of what I was trying to explain. Granted, the number of makers is 1,486. So basically, about 1,486 different wallets were able to generate 5,092 transactions, which is okay. It does make sense because this is obviously like a 4-to-1 ratio, which passes our theory. But if you take a look at these number of transactions, trust me, this number of transactions doesn't make sense in order for us to have 541 million US dollars as its market cap. This is already a red flag. The market cap, the liquidity, and the correlation between the makers and the transaction. The numbers are already off. So if these guys wanted to really make this scam seem a little bit legit, right? They would obviously like inflate the number of makers. If the number of makers was like maybe 50,000, while the transactions was like over 200,000, that would make sense with having such a high market cap. So the transactions, the makers, and also the liquidity doesn't add up with the market cap, So if you take a look at this market cap, right, there's obviously some sort of manipulation which is going on. So if we further probe this coin, right, and we take a look at the statistics and what warning signs are coming up, right, and if you take a look at the audit, right, the audit is here. It says no issues, which should be a red flag to you. Of course, you're not going to be able to know these things, and this is one of the reasons why you shouldn't trust Dexscreener, because a lot of you guys are just going to see, okay, this is normal, the audit has got no issues, everything is okay, plus these guys are boosting, so it's probably a legit sort of project. You do not have to look at things like that, because you guys are going to end up making a lot of money. So things have to be balanced. Okay, so now let me show you something that does make sense, because you have obviously seen an example of a project that doesn't even make any sense. Okay, that in terms of the makers, the transactions, the liquidity, and the market cap, all those numbers are absolutely off. So now let's take a look at the best performer, the best performing coins. Okay, let's go to Pepe. Let's search for Pepe. Let me get rid of that. I want to show you some statistics that do make sense. So let's change the transactions to over 1 million in terms of liquidity, and the market cap should be over 300 million US dollars, and the pair edge should be more than 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours is what? I need something which is like legit, something like a Pepe or something, So yeah, for example, PopCat. Take a look at what's this now? PopCat. How long has it's been around for 3 months? Okay, let's take a look at Giga. Which one are we going to go for? So this is 1.4 billion US dollars, and all right, so if you take a look at the number of transactions, right, the number of transactions are obviously in the past 6 hours. So let's go to 24 hours, then we take a look at it. Yeah, so if you take a look at the transactions, right, with regards to this project, Pop with Hat, it has got around 867 million US dollars as the market cap. The liquidity is like that. You know what I really want? I want an aggregated amount. So let's go back. So that data is not, I don't really like that data. Okay, so this one has got about 1.4 billion. Then it has been around for about 3 months. Remember what I told you, right? The longer it stays, the longer a project has been around, the more legit it is, the more the tokens are properly allocated to a vast, diverse number of people, the more secure it is. Okay, so now if you take a look at these transactions, so of course this is in the past 6 hours. So with regards to the makers, there's been about around 3,304 with the transactions, about 30,719. So you have to remember that this is a much more established cryptocurrency. So obviously, it's going to have like a huge number of supporters who've got like more capital, therefore they're going to be able to like generate a lot of different transactions. And moreover, this is a well-established altcoin, so there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be doing a lot of selling, trading, etc. So this is one of the reasons why the makers are obviously having like a 10-to-1 type of ratio in this particular case. But take a look at this liquidity. It has got about 2.8 million US dollars in terms of its liquidity, and the volume also makes sense as well. So one thing that we forgot to talk about is obviously the volume, right? So yeah, if you take a look at this, right, 33.9 million US dollars, it does make sense, with a liquidity of around 2.8 million. So these 3,305 wallets were able to sort of work through and use this liquidity, the pair between Popcat and Sol, and they were able to generate 34 million US dollars as their transaction volume, which does make good amount of sense. It does correlate. So more of the story is, if you really want to scan the markets very, very fast, you have to understand how to decipher the transactions and the makers and the liquidity and also the market cap and also the volume, especially for brand new coins, because I know for a fact that you guys who are watching this video are going to be interested in brand new coins, and this is one of the reasons why you have to be very fast, especially when you are looking at the 1 hour time frame, because this is where a lot of junk is definitely going to be. So without even wasting your time, because by the time you end up looking at the website, the time you end up looking at the Twitter pages, bubble maps, you guys are going to lose a lot of time. So understand what transactions mean, what makers mean, and what the liquidity means as well. The other metric that I really wanted you guys to also get to understand is the number of holders. So let's pick this random coin, right? We didn't even take a look at the metrics. So hold on, let's go back. Are we even able to go back? Okay, so we're looking at this one right over here. Let me even zoom. So this guy's boosted it up by about 2,000 points, which is crazy and ridiculous. So the edge of this project is about 4 hours. Look at the transactions. The transactions are not even close to, the right amount. So right from this information, right, it's not really possible. If this was correct data, the makers should have been, having at least minimum 3-to-1 ratio. So the transactions should have been around 60,000 going up. Okay, so that's already a red flag. Now take a look at the volume. The volume is around 10.6 million US dollars for a 4-hour-old meme coin, which is crazy, crazy. And the liquidity, how can this liquidity 97,000 US dollars, how can it generate about 10? It doesn't even make sense to have this small of a liquidity and having that amount of volume. It doesn't really make sense to me. And take a look at the market cap. The market cap is only 511,000. Okay, it doesn't really make sense. So personally, I would definitely avoid such a project. So now let's take a look at the number of holders. So the number of holders on this one is around 14,475. Maybe, who knows, maybe this is a legit project. Who knows? It could be a legit project. It might not be. We never know. So maybe I'm looking at something which is already pumping. So take a look at the number of holders. The number of holders is around 14,474. Honestly, I really believe this number is not. I think this is manipulated holders. I think these are bots trading back and forth. Okay, and yeah, but hey, who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it is legit. But based on this amount of information, the number of holders is way too much. Usually, when you have more than 10,000 number of holders, you are supposed to be getting close to 6 million US dollars as the market cap. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, the more you do these meme coins, the more the numbers are going to be making sense. You're going to even be able to like understand what the statistics are supposed to be like, because it doesn't make sense. You've got about 4,475 different wallets, and the market cap is only 509,000 US dollars, and you have also generated about 10 million US dollars in terms of its volume, with only a liquidity of 97,000 US dollars. Even though the liquidity is locked right over here, it doesn't add up. So this is one of the reasons why these guys are using a trading bot, or rather a volume bot, which is artificially inflating the prices and so on and so forth. So the volume bots are very sophisticated that you can't even tell at times if you take a look at the number of transactions going back and forth and the number of purchases, because they are so random and you can't really tell. Because a long time ago you would see that these are this volume. Let's say, for example, purchases are about 0.001 each transaction. You would know, okay, this is some sort of a bot. But if you take a look at these numbers, right, these numbers are totally random, and it's not easy for you to tell whether this was a bot or not, but you are able to tell from the metrics. So I can guarantee you that this is gonna be a rag coin pretty soon, because it doesn't make sense. Market cap only 500,000 US dollars with a volume of around 10 million US dollars with that amount of numbers. So a lot of people usually look at the number of holders and then they'll just be like, okay, there's about 14,475. This is definitely going to go to the moon. No, it doesn't work like that. Then one more thing that you should look out for is, as the price increases, the liquidity should definitely increase. Okay, so you want to see the liquidity pool increasing, because there's a lot of people who are loving the project and they are beginning to sort of deploy their liquidity pools, and they want to sort of make, or rather cash out from those transactions. So naturally, you're supposed to see an increase in liquidity as the market cap increases. Okay, so if you're going to have a situation where the liquidity is going to be sort of decreasing and it doesn't even correlate with the market cap, then you have to understand that that is definitely going to be ragging pretty soon. So moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to put in the time to understand the statistics. Okay, understand what the statistics mean and what should be the norm with regards to your expectations. Okay, if you do that, you're going to avoid a lot of rags. You're going to avoid a lot of rags, and just by scanning and looking at the data on Dexscreener, it's going to save you a lot of time, and you're going to focus and concentrate on legit investments. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to remind you that I just created this page on nas.io. It really makes my work easier. So to all the people who want to sort of book a one-on-one consultation with me, you can do so. If you are an absolute beginner and you would really love to get into trading meme coins, you can absolutely do that. You can book a one-on-one session with me, and you can also join my trading group. So remember, this is a new group that has been created, a new community. I'm new to this platform, so a lot of things we're going to be sort of getting to know them. We're going to be building as we go. So to all the people who are going to be joining my community, I'm going to respond to you on Telegram, etc. So in case you come to this nas.io page and you don't see anything, don't freak out. Just email me or send me a text message on Telegram. So once you join here, it's going to redirect you to my paid Telegram group where you're going to have access to everything that we're doing. So I just created this a few hours ago. So if you end up joining right now, you might see some blank spaces and whatnot. So do not freak out. I didn't scam you. I'm just, working on some few things in the background. Moreover, we're going to be using Telegram for the most part. Head over to Telegram. You're going to find the link in the description. And once you pay here, it's going to redirect you to our Telegram group, and this is where the juicy part is going to be occurring. So it's going to be done through Telegram. So yeah, I think that's all I had for you. Check out all the links in the description box below. I hope you guys understood a thing or two with regards to avoiding rugs by looking at the numbers and the data. So talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye.